what? Do me a favor. I usually don't keep clapping your hands together. We have a killer bee loose in the audience. What a cheap way to get more applause. Thank you for coming. You sound in a very good mood tonight. We have a good show. Speaking of killer bees, there's no joke, they found another killer bee in the state of California yesterday. And they are mean bees.
How mean?
Well, I tell you, whenever you see a bee with a tattoo that says "Born to Raise Hell," you know what the trouble with the bees is? They are very macho. And right after pollinating a flower, they just roll over and go to sleep without a word. You're a nice group. I must warn you before you leave tonight that NBC has sprayed spy dust on your seats. So we can trace you to see if you go to another network. Anyway, most of you, I suppose a good portion of you are on vacation? California is a state unto itself. All of the weird things start in Southern California. There are a lot of religious groups start out here that are not what you'd call your orthodox religion. There's a weird group in the valley that believes after you die, you come back as a TV evangelist toupee. There's also another group lives here. A group lives up on the San Andreas Fault. They're pacifists, and they're called Shakin' Quakers. What do you say? I have some good news and bad news tonight. You probably know the bad news. AT&T is eliminating 24,000 jobs. The good news is they're also firing the band that plays the music when they put you on hold. Where were you last night? You were missing last night.
Yes.
Where were you?
Fran, fifth cone.
Open your pearly gates. What were you doing in San Francisco?
Well, I was up there with two of our good friends, Al Hurt and Pete Fountain.
Tommy mentioned that. Were you playing a concert up there?
Yeah, we played a few notes.
Sounds good.
They said to tell you hi.
What?
They just said to tell you hi.
Hi. You know who's in town? The president is in town.
Yes.
I guess he's not making too many. He's making one public appearance tonight at a Republican fundraising dinner. The president doesn't have much trouble raising money. His friends are getting together and they're going to make a record called "We Are the Rich." The president, of course, cannot serve another term. And who do you think they're touting as one of the possible nominees for president in 1984? Lee Iacocca, the president of Chrysler. President of Chrysler Corporation. There's some talk about it. He might not make a bad president. You know, if he can do for the country what he did for Chrysler, I can see it now. Ricardo Montalban will be Secretary of Corinthian Leather. And I understand Iacocca already has a little slogan for the top of his desk. It says, if you can't stand the heat, put the top down. See, he's with an automobile company. Well, let's see what Jerry Falwell is up to today. Jerry Falwell just came back from Alaska, and he told the Eskimos that public nose rubbing was obscene. Should I try another one? No, Jerry Falwell, I suppose, is a well-meaning man, but he's running all over the world. He's now delivering his Sunday sermons from his cellular phone in his limo. That's two right there. Okay, let's move overseas very rapidly. Where do you think they're building the next Disneyland? There's Disneyland out here in Anaheim, California, and there is in Florida Disney World, right? According to the New York Times, they're going to build the first Disneyland-type park in Europe, right outside of Paris. And they're going to have Mickey Mouse and Pluto and Donald Duck L'Orange. What was that? What do you know? What was that?
Around the corner for that one.
Well, of course I've got to go around the corner for these. How many of you watched Dynasty? All right. Do you know what is coming up in the fall on ABC? They have Dynasty 1. They have Dynasty 2, now called The Colbys. And another one coming out in January, Dynasty 3, The Ginsburgs. It's about a family that gets rich by being the furriers to Dynasty 1 and Dynasty 2. So, okay. Interesting news in the entertainment section today on cable TV, if you watch satellite TV. You know who is forming their own cable TV network? The atheists. Atheists want to say they're going to challenge religious programming, and the atheists already have their own dramatic series. Michael Landon in Highway to Nowhere. We got a good show tonight. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger is here tonight. Arnold is going to come out here later and bench press Terry Forster. Ed Begley Jr., a very talented young gentleman from St. Elsewhere. And the female winner of the Hollerin' contest, which is held in Spivey Corners. Is it North Carolina?
One of the Carolinas.
I know it's one of the Carolinas. I think it's Spivey Corners, North Carolina. Her name is Ginger McLam. And Ginger will be out here to holler for us. And a few other things. So stay where you are. One of the Carolinas. Thank you. We'll be back. Okay. We have good group tonight. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who will be out shortly, Ed Begley Jr. from St. Elsewhere, Ginger McLam from North Carolina. That's a contest they've been holding for many years down there.
We've had the winners on for a number of years.
Yeah, called a hollering contest. And they have both men's and women's divisions. And I guess it started because people down there in that territory, when they want to talk to their neighbors, would go out and holler. Therefore, it became known as a hollering contest. All right, I have to do something here that we hadn't planned to do, but
Right.
you get when you're in the public eye, you get a lot of requests from organizations to do what we call public service announcements.
And you've been so busy lately. You haven't had time to do them.
Oh, if I've been busy. No, I can't even want to get into that. I've seen more lawyers than Raymond Burr in the past. Anyway.
Very busy.
These requests come from organizations like the USO or the Boy Scouts of
Forestry
America.
Service.
The Forestry Service, to name just a few.
You don't get paid for this.
No, these are, well, you should if you're in the public eye, give some of your time back to various organizations. And they sent them over this afternoon. We didn't have time to do them. So with your indulgence, I will tape these public service spots now, and you'll get the chance to see how they work. What they do, they put the copy on cards, and I haven't even seen the copy. And Kevin will slate them, and I'll just do them cold.
All right.
Kevin, you want to slate these?
Here we go. PSA number 1, take 1.
Kevin looks nice, doesn't he?
Yeah, very well dressed.
Got all dressed up.
Knew he was going to be on camera. Normally he's got a pair of Oshkosh Bagosh overalls on. You better slate this one again, Kevin. This way you could write off the white pants.
PSA number 1, take 1.
Hello, this is Johnny Carson. You know, there are people in our society who are missing out on something in life, namely having someone barge into their home unexpectedly, stay for weeks, raid the refrigerator, and mooch money, and constantly borrow the car. Won't you help provide these people with a basic family experience? Become a big brother-in-law. Write to Big Brothers-in-Law, Sleeping on the Couch, Minnesota, 11203. Thank you very much.
Okay. PSA number 2, take 1.
Hi, I'm Johnny Carson. I feel that the second most powerful man in the United States should not dress like a certified public accountant. George Bush needs to dress more flashy, and you dudes in Florida can help. Send your unwanted white linen sports jackets and your pastel T-shirts to Washington because America needs a Miami vice president.
PSA number 3, take 1.
Hello, this is Johnny Carson. Back in the 60s, long hair was in for men. But now it's 1985 and long hair is horribly out of fashion, except for a tragic few. If you have way too much hair, it's not your fault. You have a disease. For more information, contact your barber or write Michael Lannon's disease, Blow Dry, California, 90272.
PSA number 4, take 1.
A lot of them tonight. Hi, this is Johnny Carson with an important mental health message for Major League catchers. We know it makes you depressed to sit on your haunches for hours in the hot sun while some foreign pitcher gets all the money and glory. We know how boring it must be to hear Pete Rose step up to bat and constantly say, just 14 more hits. If you're experiencing psychological distress from being a catcher, now there's help available. Call the squat hotline. 1-800-YOGI Berra.
PSA number 5, take 1.
Johnny Carson here.
Very slick.
PSA number 5, take 2.
Hi, I'm Johnny Carson. I'm sure you all remember the popular situation comedy series about the Cleaver family. Well, Wally's kid brother has fallen on hard times. In fact, he is currently working as a men's room attendant at Universal Studios. Now, this little guy brought you a lot of enjoyment. Don't you think you owe him something in return? Next time you take the Universal tour, go to the men's room, take a quarter out of your pocket, and heave it to Beaver.
PSA number 6, take 1.
We're only doing 5. We cut that one. Didn't we cut that one? Or we cut that one? But do that again. That was
Yeah,
very
it's nice
good.
the way you did it.
no,
Yeah. Go ahead, Kevin.
Come on, Kevin, do it again.
That concludes.
PSAs are over.
Now here's a message about new peanut butter whips. A granola bar with whipped peanut butter.
Hey.
Yes. Okay. Michael Lennon. Okay. My first guest is a lady from the countryside near Fayetteville in Raleigh, North Carolina, who was this year's winner in the female division of the Spivey's Corner Hollering Contest. Would you welcome Ginger McLam? It's not a recording session. Hi, Ginger.
Hi.
Hi, you're looking very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, what do you got there?
I got something special for you.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Was this supposed to be a surprise? I didn't. Oh,
I stayed up all night, Sunday night, just for you.
you're kidding.
I've noticed when you, before you come up here on stage, you do
Yeah.
that little
Gauze
number.
one? Yeah.
And this is for you.
Is that needlepoint?
That is cross-stitching.
Cross-stitching. Show that. That's very
There
pretty.
you go. Like that.
Isn't that sweet? That's very nice. I could have that put on my little pillow at night.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Or beside your pillow. Beside your pillow, maybe.
Well, that's the only thing that's beside my pillow.
Could be.
You know what? I mentioned earlier that you were from the hollering contest, some of the people kind of chuckled like there wasn't such a contest. Now, we've had the winners on the show, I think, for the past 8 or 9 years, and the contest has been going how long, do you know?
This was the 17th annual event.
Did it start out basically because people in a rural community would talk with their neighbors or try to call back and forth?
Well, that's what I understand,
Yeah.
that they're trying to bring back the lost art of hollering. Of course, it's not a lost art to me because I do it all the time, see?
Yeah.
But if you have 4 children, naturally you're going to do some
Oh,
hollering.
yeah. Now, most of the people enter the contest practically every other year. This was your first
First time I've ever seen Spivey's Corner.
Really? How
Yeah.
come you didn't enter before?
Well, I've heard about it quite a few years, and I don't know. I just wanted, the urge just hit me the last minute, and I tried to invite everybody to go with me, you know. No, they were too embarrassed, even my children, but...
Why? Why were your kids embarrassed?
They didn't want to see their mother holler in public, maybe. I don't know. But the Friday night before, my husband said, Ginger, I'll go with you. And I says, well, that's good, but if you don't, I'm going with or without you.
Yeah.
So when I left out the door that day, I told the children, I said, Mom's going to come back with a trophy. And I didn't know if they were going to give a trophy, a blue ribbon, or what, you know. But anyhow, so we went down there, and he said, what you going to holler? I said, Penny. He said, now, wait a minute, Jen, you don't want to get up there and make a nut of yourself. So I thought, well, I've got 3 more children, so why not use them all? So I hollered Penny, Deanna, Teddy Joe, and Jennifer.
Right.
And about 4 o'clock, they called us behind the little platform where we were supposed to holler. And I got behind a van trying to break the sound barrier, you know.
Yeah.
And I was trying to
Warm up, you mean?
Yeah, sort of
Yeah.
warm up. And I decided to add something to it, so I hollered Dixie, you know. So
Hollered Dixie.
But I got it crossed between another song, and I thought, oh, gosh, I'm going to blow it, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, when I got up there, I didn't blow it. I hollered it.
And you were the winner.
Yeah.
And this is what you got?
This is
Let's
what
show
I
that.
got. Yeah.
This is a rather impressive-looking trophy.
Yeah, I like the top of it.
Ladies Calling Champion, 1985.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You
Well,
like
what
the
you-
top of that?
What?
You like the top of it?
Well, it's a... What do we got here? I can't see.
It looks like a donkey hollering, doesn't it?
Yes, it kind of does. Yeah, it's got...
You know?
Yes. What's your husband do? Has he ever been in this contest?
No, he's a farmer, tobacco
Yeah.
farmer. We
Yeah.
have 36 acres tobacco, and along with my hollering, they sort of judged on that and the uniqueness of your story. And like I said, we do have 36 acres tobacco, and we do a lot of hollering because you got to keep it as fun as you can because that is hard work.
Yeah.
But we holler back and forth in the fields, and when the children were little, I did a lot of hollering because where we lived there was no trees. And
You raised in the country? Right?
No, I'm a city slicker, Charlotte, North Carolina. And Mom liked to have a fit because I married a farmer, see.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
But anyhow, she likes it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Now you get a lot of attention from this, national attention. You like that?
Yeah, it's fun. I never had any idea whatsoever all this would come out of it.
Yeah.
And I left too early, see, and didn't leave my name, and it took them, quite a time to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And, but anyhow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready to demonstrate this holler that won you the championship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you about where I work.
Sure.
I do a lot of hollering there, too.
Why don't you tell me about where you work?
Yeah.
Where do you work?
I work at Pinecrest Rest Home and Norwood Retirement Center as arts and craft instructor.
At a rest home?
Right.
You don't practice there, do you?
Sure, I practice. I've even stood on my head to get them out of the room.
Yeah.
To come into the activities room. Yeah.
I guess it would come in handy.
Yeah, and I've been clowning.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to get their interest.
Yeah.
for
How long
them.
you been doing that?
About 2 years.
Okay,
This is in
now
Millington.
Uh-huh. Are you ready now for a...
Yeah.
Here's
Are
a
you
microphone.
ready?
I think I'm ready. Now, you stand when you do this, or you want to sit down, or what?
Well, let me sit.
Okay, sure.
I stood when I
This is
hollered.
kind of musical, I understand.
Now, wait a minute, I'm going to holler the children's name first.
Children's
I'm gonna
names
do
first.
just like I did down there, okay?
All right, we want to see the whole...
Have you got your plugs?
Yeah, you
Put
go right ahead.
yours?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Penny!
That's ear-piercing.
Right.
And they say where the new hollerers coming from.
There's been people that has wanted me. You know, I told them, I was going to be on Johnny Carson show.
Yeah.
Oh, let me hear what you're going to do. I said, wait till August 22nd,
right.
Thursday night.
Before you go,
Watch
how would you
Johnny.
do my name?
Johnny!
Thank you, Ginger. Thank you.
I don't know what it sounds like coming over that microphone, but sitting here, are your ears
Oh, yeah.
ringing?
Yes.
Yes, your ears are ringing. That was Ginger McLam from Spivey's Corner, North Carolina. And Arnold Schwarzenegger will be out in just a moment. So stay where you are. I sound like David Winkler. I'll be out. My next guest has won more bodybuilding awards, I think, than anyone in history. And his latest film is called Commando, opens on October 4th. And he has a book out called The Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding.
Just lifting it,
And if
right?
you just bench press this several times a day, you will not have to buy any weights at all. Would you welcome, please, Arnold Schwarzenegger? You got about a 10-pound book there.
Well, you were right. You don't need any weights for this book.
Just
you know.
sit back and...
You just do the exercises in there, and instead of having a barbell,
Yeah.
you use the book, do the curls with the book.
Do you work out every day? Every other day?
I would say 6 days a week.
6 days
Yeah,
a
with
week?
weights, and I run 3 times a week, and then do other exercises that we shouldn't talk about here in front of the people. So,
You sly
so
dog.
I do
you.
everything.
Hey, congratulations.
But,
you look very well. You look very happy.
Thank
And,
you, I am.
I understand you are now officially engaged to a very lovely young lady, Maria Shriver.
That's right.
So,
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I know you have been keeping company, as they say. Where I grew up, they said keeping company for what, more than a few years? 4, 5, 6?
We met 8 years ago in New York at the tennis tournament.
Right.
And we've been going out ever since. And when I met her, I pretty much knew that she would be the girl for my life.
How did you know
to make the decision to get married is a whole different ballgame. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, you're worried about losing your freedom and all those things. I mean, you know what I'm talking
Now, how did you know when you met Maria that that's the lady that you might like to marry?
about. She just fit everything that I wanted in a woman. You know, she was very pretty, very smart, very independent, very strong, and came from a good background. So it was just a whole and her personality is just
Right.
it doesn't quit. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
she's just all over the place at the same time. You know, so she's wonderful, and I'm very happy about that. And I think that I'm
great.
very lucky. Yeah.
That's great. But 8 years is kind of a long engagement, though.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I'm going past the 7 years, which is supposed to be the 7-year itch.
Oh, that's right.
And so then I knew everything would be perfect after the 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually, somebody said you proposed while you were in Europe?
I planned this whole thing. I went to Austria, to my hometown, Graz.
Right.
And I proposed there, and we got engaged in Graz. And because we're going to get married in her hometown, which will be in Hyannisport.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought the engagement over there and the marriage over here, and it was very romantic, very nice, and my mother was very happy, and her parents were very happy because they knew that I'm the best things in sliced bread. And so,
Did your mother ever say, like some mothers do, Arnold, why don't you get married when you were younger?
no, my mother, she liked the idea, I think, for me not being married because she felt that then I would pay more attention to her. See, my father died around, it was 12 years ago, and so I was the only one really there to take care of her, and so she felt that I would have all this time just for her. But, she was first shocked when I told her about the engagement, but then she got used to the idea after around 10 minutes of convincing her this was the right thing to do. But I mean, she wanted me to be just there for her.
Yeah. Going home, I guess, now for you must be different than maybe it was some years ago with all the exposure you've had and the motion pictures and everything. What kind of reaction do you get when you go back home?
Oh,
It must be
it's just-
tremendous.
Yeah, first of all, as you know, the Austrian ski team hasn't been doing well in the last few years. And so I think that I'm kind of the replacement for that. So I became, the last few years, like a national hero in Austria, and I get a lot of good publicity there, and my films are doing really well. So it's really wonderful to go back to Austria and to my hometown.
Right.
I really enjoy that, to go back. And now I look, of course, at the whole country differently than when I left 18 years ago.
Yeah, when you grow up, you're not really conscious sometimes until you go back and visit of what you did have when you grew up, right?
Exactly. I mean, you go back now and you realize that this is a really wonderful historic place, number one, and it is really a beautiful country with a lot of great culture and so on. So I took Maria, for instance, to the Salzburger Festspiele, you know, the music festival, and showed the various different operas there, and to Munich and so on. Really showed a few things, and I therefore could see again Austria from a whole different side.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I hated classical music.
Really?
Oh, when my parents were telling me I should listen to classical music, I hated it. Now I love it, because now I can appreciate it. You know, you grow up and you get smarter and you can appreciate the things.
Did you have a happy childhood when you were?
Very happy childhood, yeah, very good upbringing, and my parents were terrific. And I think that's why I'm also looking forward to having a family and having children, because I had a really good childhood myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the people in your hometown always ask you about the movie stars they're most familiar with. And they're the older ones. Is that true? Not so much the younger ones?
Or the ones that have been around for a while and that are really mature actors. Like I remember Kirk Douglas is somebody that a lot of people always ask me over there about, Elizabeth Taylor and people like that. You know, so really established actors. They don't know that much about the young actors. Clint Eastwood, they all know very well. He's the big hero over there, international star, or Burt Reynolds, for instance, and so yeah.
Now, Commando, you played one where you played a mean villain, the Terminator. Mm-hmm. Now you're back to playing a hero, right?
I play a hero, but the film is those people who liked or loved Terminator, they will really love Commando, because it's as intense, if not much more intense than Terminator is. And
How could
I
it be
have
more
to
intense than Terminator?
Yeah, no, it is. It's violent. It's a great story, but it's action-packed from the beginning to the end. And we have a wonderful actress in there, Ray Dawn Chung, who is just a terrific actress and very good with comedy. And she's kind of the comic relief in the movie, because the movie really is so intense that it needs that. But it's a wonderful film, and people really will love this film. It will be for everybody to see.
How many times have you been, you know, in person, you're impressive, physique-wise. On screen, you look monumental. I mean, bigger than life size.
Yeah, that's true. It's just, it depends. If I wear a jacket, I wear on purpose a dark jacket, so I look smaller. When you wear lighter clothes, then you look bigger.
Right.
Or when I take my jacket or my shirt off, in a film, for instance, the end of the film, the last third of the film, I have my shirt off, then it looks much bigger, because the muscles, the definition, and all those muscles come out, and so it makes you look much bigger.
Yeah.
And on a screen, I think everybody looks bigger.
Right. Yeah, because it is larger than life size, of course. Did you ever get hurt in these pictures?
A lot of times. In this last picture on Commando, I was injured all the time, because you end up doing all the stunts yourself, except the car
It's difficult
stunts.
for somebody to stand in for you. It would be pretty obvious. It would be pretty obvious.
That's true. You're right. It's very difficult, and you end up doing all this stuff yourself. You know, with stunt coordinators always think that when you have a body like that, that you can handle just about anything. And they come very casually to you in the morning and they say, listen, the next scene we do is you just run here from here to there, you shoot a few times through this window, and then you fly or jump through this French door. You know, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about it. Well, how does one jump through a French door? You know, I mean, for a stunt man, it's maybe something that he has done before, but I mean, I've never done it before. It's not something that you do every day, it's jumping through French doors. So, you know, you worry about those things, and then, of course, you end up doing it, but you get injured, and I have had was rushed to the hospital 3 times during the shooting of Commander, getting stitches on my elbows or hand, getting stabbed with knives, and my shoulder bone was chipped because of this one jump through the French door and things like that.
Well, marriage ought to be a snap for you now.
That's true. You're right.
You got all the tough stuff out of the way.
That's right, yeah. But it's fun doing films like this. It's just that there are risks involved, and you just have to take those risks because, like you say, it's very hard to double somebody, especially when you have your shirt off, because no one has the same kind of a physique. There are a lot of big stuntmen around, but they don't have the same kind of
What do you
physique.
think about women's bodybuilding? That has become something that a few years ago nobody would even entertain. But now the women are getting into it.
Well, I like the idea that women can participate now in sports as freely as men do, because they 20 years ago there was a no-no, and now they're involved in all kinds of sports, not only just in female bodybuilding, but in shot put, in weightlifting, in all different things. And sports, as far as I'm concerned, are for people, not for just men or just women or so. So I think this is very encouraging, and it's terrific. Now, if it is a sexual turn on, that is something for each one to decide for themselves. You know, some people like muscular women, other men like more the round women, and so each one has their own taste.
Where do you fit in this?
I go for Maria's body and for her looks. Was that a diplomatic answer?
No, that's a perfect answer. That's a perfect diplomatic answer.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You made good points today. Okay, my next guest, you all know. Ed, of course, is one of the stars of St. Elsewhere, which you've seen here Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock on NBC, and he's also producing a play at the Beverly Hills Playhouse called Significant Others. And I think he's just returned from Yugoslavia on a picture. Would you welcome Ed Begley Jr.? Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Johnny.
I hear that I didn't know that you guys knew each other.
We worked
yes.
together 10 years ago in a picture, Stay Hungry, and when I met Arnold, he looked very much different. You know Joel Grey?
Sure.
A lot like that. I trained this guy. I worked with him, and you see the
Shows you what
result.
happens.
Yeah.
And he listened to you.
I helped him with his acting.
It's true.
Yeah, it's very important.
I think we talked about the first picture I saw you in. Did we mention that last time? Where I think you were newly arrived in this country and somebody else did your voice.
That's right, yes.
And
yeah,
I saw it on
Hercules.
cable one night, and he played the hero, and all of a sudden I says, yeah, it doesn't sound, Arnold is really sounding great. And I realized, and there was no accent at all.
It was Eddie.
It was me.
So you did a picture called Staying,
Yeah, and I did Arnold's voice in that.
Get Out of Here.
Eddie, have your protein product. Eddie, got the rope on the pectorals.
Yeah.
The legs.
You do all that? You get out and exercise?
I do. I go to one of these health clubs. I go every other day, and I enjoy it. I eat better, I sleep better, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. He started me on this, seriously. 10 years ago at Gold's Gym.
right,
Yep.
yes.
And it was very helpful.
I think I first saw Arnold on a thing that they did in Pretoria. It was a Mr. Olympiad in South Africa. And one of the ladies said to you, do you drink milk? And you said, milk is for babies, right? Which puts the lie to people drinking milk, right?
Yes, beer is better.
Yeah. What? Tea is better?
Beer.
Beer is better.
In a Stein, yes.
So were you doing a picture in?
I was doing a picture in Yugoslavia, and it's good to be back. It's, it's a tough gig over there. It really is. It's a pretty tough gig.
Yeah.
And I say this with no disrespect to Yugoslavia. I have many Yugoslavian friends. Their numbers are legion. I love my Yugoslavian buddies. But
Well, I've
it's,
heard people have, it's a cultural shock in a way.
it's very different over there. Not to say we're good and that is
Yeah.
bad. It's just different. I mean, here you want to make a phone call, for instance. Simple things like telecommunications. You dial, even overseas, you want to call, you go 011, then the country code, and you're connected.
Right.
There, it's like, hey, the Vegas, get the blanket, make the little fire, and, get the semaphore flags. I've never seen anything like
You're
it.
saying the phone system is not state of the art?
No,
Is that
no, it's like the thing, with the louvered, light.
that bad, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. And eating, simple things like you want to eat a couple times a day wherever you are. And it's tough
Now,
over
don't tell
there.
me they don't eat in Yugoslavia.
They eat. Yugoslavian food is, I'm not saying it's good or bad, just different, okay? I don't eat a lot of meat myself. I eat some chicken, some fish, but I don't eat meat. There's meat in everything over there. You go, you say, well, what do you have today? We have beef, veal, or lamb. Okay. What else? You must have something else. Yes, pork. Okay. Could I get some seafood, maybe? Yes. We have squid and eel with beef. You know, everything, yeah. The national dish over there is pork tartare, I think. I mean, there's like, I've never seen so much meat. There's a lot of meat there, so I had a hard time. But it's good to be back, and, you know, the picture's going to be very good. I just saw it. It's called Transylvania 6-5000.
Oh, that's one, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum. Funny film. Jeff Goldblum, myself, Carol Kane, Jeffrey Jones, long list of people, and it's very funny. I just saw it the other day.
Good. Well, nice to be home, though.
It sure is. I kissed the tarmac.
I read that you are up again for your third nomination?
That's right, for Nemmy.
In St. Elsewhere?
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's real nice.
Thank you.
Fred, you have to do this? All right. We'll take a short time out and be right back. We're back talking with Ed Begley Jr., Arnold Schwarzenegger. You still residing in Ojai?
Yes, I've been living in Ojai now for over a year, and there's a certain amount of commuting, but it's nice. An unusual thing happened there, by the way, that ultimately involves you. I was at my house, and I hear there's somebody up at the mailbox up near the road that wants to talk to me. So I go, okay, fine. I go up. The old lady's standing there with an older gentleman and a young guy, and they go, are you the owner of the house? I said, yes. Your parents own it? No, I own it. I was kind of flattered by that right away. So I go, what do you want? They said, well, this is a long story. The woman starts to sob, cry a little bit. She goes, I met my husband 40 years ago in this spot. We're on bicycles. We've lived in Ojai for a long time. And we met here, and he passed away 3 days ago. I said, oh, my God, I'm very sorry. She goes, well, we met here. I would like to bury his ashes. They produce a little urn. We want to bury his ashes on this spot, right here. I said, right where? How deep? She goes, 18 inches. And my gosh. I think about it. Well, what's it going to bother me?
On
it's
your
gonna,
property.
On my property, right there near the front. I think, okay, what the heck? Yep, fine. You can, of course. I'm never going to see it again. 18 inches down, that's deep enough. Fine, go ahead. And I said, you have a shovel? Because I've got to run, and we're going to lunch. He said, yeah, we have a little hand shovel. I said, you got a big problem. You're going to need a pick or something. But I have a pick. I ran and got the pick. I said, where do you want to dig? She goes, right there. I go, boom, right into a water line. It was turned off, fortunately, so this wasn't a big mess, but I destroyed a line. I'm kind of trying to keep under control. And I do a little bit of digging. Ingrid, my wife, is going, come on, let's go. The kids are in the car. Nick and Amanda are in the car. Let's go. I'm sorry, you're going to have to finish it yourself, but good luck to you. I'm sorry for your loss. I go off, go to lunch. I come back, and they're still there. Not only are the people still there, but they have a monument this tall put up there, a stone monument. And they're saying a service, and there's a minister and what have you. And then I thought of you, and I started looking for mirrored trucks, and I found 3 of them. Bloopers, blunders, the practical joke on me. You did this to me. You did this.
And you thought it was for real?
I thought it was for real. I bought it. I totally bought it. You got me.
Nice touch, huh?
The old lady was great.
Wonderful lady.
It was great. The old lady.
I must tell you what they did to me.
What?
Well, I'm very close to the show, and I figured they're never going to get me in this country. I was over for Wimbledon about a month ago, and Grant Tinker, no less, the chairman of the board of this network, said, would you stop by? I hate to intrude on your privacy and just say hello to a few people from Wimbledon, the All England Tennis Club, because we're trying to get Wimbledon for next year, and just come in and say hello. And, I said, well, sure, Grant, I'm going to do that. I go to this little cocktail party at the Mayfair Hotel. There's nice people standing around, little hors d'oeuvres. And he said, I'd like you to meet so forth and Lady so-and-so. And very regal-looking British. And I said, how do you do? It's nice to meet you.
He said, oh, it was quiet, his show. It says, our boys, and Wimbledon this year because the Rose Bowl played a few years ago.
And I can't understand anything. I couldn't understand any of them. I would hear a word. They were talking way back in here.
Oh, right, our boys, Kevin Kerr in the match yesterday. Come over here. And I do hope next year when you come off the chaps, we'll do better in Rose Bowl.
And I'm going, yeah. And then it was just awful, and it was all a put on. And they had gone clear over to London and nailed me.
Good.
But good.
Good.
And I'm trying to be polite and, and sincere, not to embarrass you, because I understood nothing. So I'm glad they nailed you, too.
They did. They got me good.
I'll be right back. Okay, we'll just have a few seconds. Anyway, how's your play going?
The play's going very good. I understand you took up scuba. I did that too, and I saw a big shark down there, 5-foot sand shark.
Now scuba diving too, huh?
Oh, it's great. I just got certified for that, and it's wonderful. My instructor, this guy Melvin, had a surefire procedure for seeing shark. There it goes, cut your buddy and swim like hell.
Save yourself.
Save yourself.
Thanks for coming tonight. Arnold, nice to see you. Good night. I'm humbled by that applause.